Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, it's a beautiful morning here, Monday, September the 1st, Labor Day. It has cooled off drastically here recently in the last couple of weeks, and I am loving it. Probably 57, 58 this morning. Sunshine, beautiful weather. Got a pretty good stretch of some good weather, so I'm going to attempt to get some hay cut. So we're going to start out with several random things on the video. I've got to go get some salt treated poles from a friend of mine. Pennies on the dollar purchase there. I found them local, so we got to get the truck hooked up to the gooseneck. My buddy's coming. I'm not sure how much footage I'll get of that, but I'll show you when we get back. And then we're going to try to finish up on this tedder and see if I can get it back together and maybe lay some hay down this afternoon. If not, tomorrow hopefully. But we'll see what happens. So I thought I'd bring you guys along, hopefully get back into the realm of farming a little bit on this one. So let's see what we can get into. Alright, so we got the salt treated poles here. Kind of scored pretty good on those. There's several really big ones that'll work great for hanging my gate with the automatic opener. And then we're just going to set the corners of my surrounding fence with these poles instead of wasting them with H braces, because it's more decoration and keep the or as a deterrent rather than trying to keep any animals in, so we're not going to have high tension on it. So anyway, walk down here and show you the other score. So these are pennies on the dollar by far, especially for what most people want for these around my area, about 6 miles from the farm. A good friend of mine actually. Anyway, we're gonna build the lean-to on the back of the barn. I know I've talked about that since me and Gordon tore it down, gosh, probably 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years. Seems like everything's on a 2 to 3 year delay around here, but I've got to get both the combines under there this year, and I just want to try to get all these big projects behind me. So due to the height of everything, we'll try to utilize foam poles for the main beams, and then LVLs to span my distance that I need, and then just normal rafters, kind of like a lean-to. It won't be quite as extensive as the first one I built, but anyway, turn around here and show you the other score. Good selection of creosote poles. I've got some that are 30 plus, down in the 20s, and then down to 18s, and I think that'll give me most everything that I need as far as for the lean-to. He's got some more. Got a family member that's gonna take some as soon as he gets finished with those. He said I could come back and we'll see what he's got left and what I can use. That one back there on the back is actually what came down beside the old house that we tore down, the little house where my new grange is. But I'll show you up here where the barn, where we're talking about any of you new guys, and then we'll move on to something else today. Look at that, pesty. So any of you guys that are new to the channel, we tore down the back section of the old barn there. I was hanging on by a thread. There's still a piece up there that needs to come down, but this is where I'm talking about building a lean-to, and then I can put both Glenda and Senior, both my combines, in there with the headers on, and keep those in the dry, and it'll open up this bay over here. Seriously considering pouring some concrete in there so I'll be able to work, but then I'll have the whole barn alleyway as well, because the 2 combines should go side by side there on the home structure. And then we've got that other section over there, I think it's 33 or 13 or 14 feet wide, and then we'll be able to go all the way in like I was talking about with hay, you know, whatever, on the barn alley. So that's what the poles were for. Stay tuned for that coming up this winter if you're interested in the building aspect, and hopefully move forward. We're doing pretty good keeping everything in the dry. It's just a little aggravating to work on, but we're getting there. Well, a complete change of pace for the afternoon. Back on this, well, I'm not even going to say what I'm considering this tedder, but anyway, my buddy's been here helping me, and I think we got it figured out. The keyway had slipped out of the gear. It was way down in the bottom of the housing thing there. So we got that back in, and the way it works keeps the gear where it needs to be, so everything feels like it's supposed to. We've got the gearbox flipped over, but of course nothing in my realm of luck works out. So now I'll try my best to explain what's going on and what I'm going to have to do. So I don't think there's going to be any hay cutting today. We're going to try to go ahead and get this unit fabricated and fixed and back together so we can utilize it sometime this week. So basically, I'm fingering the screen here and up close, the bracket that goes on top, which is that, you'll see me working on in a minute, that houses the hitch, overlooked a mess in the shop. It's not right. The tube and the bolt holes, these flanges, support braces here are clocked different, and it will not sit on there and bolt up right here like it's supposed to, and then bolt flat over here. I mean, why, I don't know. The gearbox flipped over perfect, everything was fine. So what I'm going to have to do is cut that flange off. I'll show you in a minute, the 3 bolts here. We're going to get it bolted on the ends down true like it's supposed to be, so the hitch is the same, and then I'll bolt these back on, make a mark, and I'll scab me a piece over there and weld that back to it, because it's never going to be a 4-basket tedder again. So I'm thinking that if we get that taken care of, we should be good. Sorry about the shadows, can't see, but I'm gonna have to cut them off here and then unbolt it, and then that'll leave this piece free. And once we get it on there and get these outside pieces bolted, then I'll come back in here and I'm probably gonna have to trim this more, but I'll make something and scab that back together. So that's what we're hoping for right now. We've got a good run of dry weather. Like I was saying, I needed to be cutting hay today, but I want to go ahead and get this situated. So if this works, that'll be a game changer for me. With the low humidity we've got this week and the temperatures, it'll make drying a whole lot easier with what grass and weeds I've got to cut. So we're going to continue on, so it won't be any baling or cutting on this video, guys, but we'll try to wrap this crazy tedder up on this one, so keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope this works. It should. I wanted to make sure that we kept this piece the same level with the baskets, because that's how the hitch rides. So that'll bolt up. Hopefully you guys can see. Get the right piece. So now I'm hoping that, see, how does this go? Yeah. Like this. Well, that's not gonna work either, is it? Oh, my luck. Get it figured out, Nelson. Let's see. Yeah, it's like this. This goes over here. I had the right one to begin with. So I'm still not gonna work perfect, because I just don't know, guys. This is just a crazy setup. Got my head right in the camera. Well, that's not gonna work at all like I wanted it to work, because that's close to where it needs to be, and you see how far down it is. See, that's what's the problem with this. It's clocked so much different than the others. And I don't really understand it, because these were bolted on the tube just like this when the gearbox was flipped the other way. Not really understanding 100% what's going on here, but let me do some more figuring. Well, nothing ever works out as planned, not with me anyway. So that's the orientation where the bolt holes are going to line up and bolt up. This isn't a problem here. I'm not too worried about that. I can always cut that off. But my back bolt, of course, is not going to line up. And I don't really know what would be the best. I'm tempted just to, that's pretty close there. I'm tempted just to utilize that, because that's the bracket bent, and just weld that on the front and back, and it'll be the same as the bolt. And then if I need to take it off, there's no problem to take it off. Just unbolt the 3 bolts here. So It's just going to be a little bit more welding and fabrication than what I was wanting to do, but that's what we do here at IP Farms. Pennies on the dollar stuff. If you're going to mess with antiques and junk, you got to make it work. So let's get started. Alright, so we got everything cut and ground down. I'm going to get this bolted down tight and get everything up there, tack it up best I can, and then pull it back loose and weld it. I'm hoping nothing moves. I haven't figured out the scab plates over here yet, but we'll get to that. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but it might work out. I don't know. We'll see, guys. It's going to work. I mean, it's turning the right way now. If I can get this situated, it's just always something to do fabrication wise. I may have to turn the wheels around. I'm not real sure if I can remember how the hitch goes back on. But let me get all this bolted up and ready and bring it back. We'll do a little bit of welding. We'll see how it works out. Well, we got a couple stitches up on top, not too bad. Still can't see very well. Got the gusset in there. That's not necessarily the best way to scab that up, but I don't think there's a whole lot of pressure there. I'm gonna pull it off and weld the back side up there at the nut we were talking about. I'll keep an eye on it, see if there's any stress cracks coming the weld or that piece of metal. I don't think so, because you know, everything's bolted there solid, and then of course these big bolts out here take most of the abuse. So we'll see. It had quite a bit of play in it anyway, so I'm tickled to kind of get it tightened up, if you will. So I'm gonna finish up here and we'll get putting the hitch on and probably wrap this one up soon. Well, there it is, back together completely. I need to make a couple bushings a couple places at some point. The wheels are backwards. I don't know how that's going to affect it. I really want it to. It kind of jumped around on the hitch, so now it's nose heavy. So I'm hoping that that might work. I don't know. I don't know if there's any real decision maker on the wheels or not. I'll have to read up on that, and you guys can tell me. But right now they're backwards compared to what they were. We're gonna try it. So I'm gonna finish cleaning up the shop here in a minute. Get enough to get this monstrosity out the door and hook it up, spin it one time, make sure we're not too far out of time and that it goes the right direction. And if so, then we'll say the Mora MH530 4 basket down to 2 is finally fixed, hopefully. Well, it's fixed. It's throwing it the right way. Thank goodness. Not throwing it out, throwing it back out of the middle of the tedder. That noise is, I don't know what happened. This one, you can see it's bent So it's catching when it goes in the middle. It's hitting just a little bit. Plus this tooth is bent way out. It's not hitting on the bar. I think the teeth are hitting, so I'll do a little bit of adjusting and we'll pull that one over. But so far so good. I like it. It's heavy on the tongue like we were talking about, so you know, we'll see what happens. But no more throwing it to the outside, just grabbing it just like it's supposed to, scattering it through the middle. So we're gonna call it good on this one, guys. Let me go back here and get it unhooked and get the hay bind hooked up, and I'll come back around and we'll do a little short outro and say the mower is ready for the field. For now, anyway. I think I'm gonna head towards the house and get me a little bit of supper. It's been quite the day. I got a lot accomplished. Felt good to get back into the farming aspect of things. The poles for the lean-to on the barn. We got the fence posts, got those cut up. Yeah, my chainsaw's really dull. No sense in sharpening until I get done cutting all these poles. I think I clipped a stapler or two and some of them today, but really worked out great. Hopefully I can go by and get some more of those. We've got to get the fencing lined out. I've got a few more trees I'm probably going to have to hire out to get taken down around some power lines, so I'm kind of on the fence about that. But anyway, the tedder went good. If any of you guys got one of those 4-basket mowers and want to turn it over to 2, you can do it. Don't do anything but take the center gearbox loose and spin it around, and then you'll have to do a little bit of bracketry work, at least on that year model. That's the older one. I don't know if the newer ones, you know, are any different or not, but I'll do a little tweaking on that one arm, and I believe we'll be good. I think that'll work out quite well to help me get this hay dry that I'm going to cut. So probably going to be baling on the ground and picking back up. I might actually get the wife up here to drive the truck for me, but we'll see what happens. So definitely stay tuned for a little bit of hay action here at IP Farms, and then of course we're going to have some fall tillage too, along with all the other projects. So hope you enjoyed it. Really appreciate everything, guys. Thank you for all the support. I know it's been a crazy year. I say that all the time, but doing the best we can with what we got to work with this year. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Till then, thank you.